Real Hi-Fi Help. I thought about giving a very special video on how exactly to recognize good equipment. There is a lot of equipment out there that has this grayish sound. As you can see, there's this emotional scale from 1 to 27. There could be more parts, but those are the ones that I've been able to identify. And I found that a lot of bad equipment is stuck at 7, 8, 13, 15, 16, 24, 25, 27. And I think it's because a lot of the hi-fi equipment that's on the market is basically nowadays digital chip based. There's upsampling, DSP, DSD technology, all of this stuff going on. And in a way, it fixes a lot of problems for us as users, but in another way, it also creates a lot of problems. So it's a good way of, what can I say, compensating for a cheap amount of money. But ideally, if it was up to me, I would have an AudioNote level 5 system, and I wouldn't have anything of that modern stuff on it. I would just go all in, and that would probably cost me a couple of $1,000,000, probably $1 or $2 million. And is it worth it? Yes, simply because I could easily get something that only is maybe a tenth of that price. But the problem I see with those systems is that typically a lot of those ordinary expensive hi-fi systems with big speakers, DSP, DSD technology, upsampling, and traditional power filtering, I find that a lot of those systems they have this sort of dead, grayish, unimpressed kind of sound, very reserved. Yeah, reserved is the main word. And it just feels as if everything is just slightly boring and uninteresting. And when you get up to a certain standard and you're dealing with really proper equipment and setting it up properly, there's this sort of joy that you can't really put any words into. But it's the ability to go between different mental states and increasing and decreasing the intensity of that state. So typically, most people have a really bad system, and then they look up to systems. I'm just going to throw some random names out there, like Prima, Lyngdorf, Macintosh, whatever. And they suddenly, these systems that they don't have, they do the mechanical things a lot better on a whole different level. And then they get into this, once they've had that, then they want to get into a more perfectionistic and black level sound. So you've got a lot of muting of harsh effects. And I generally find that it's so difficult going from a standard expensive piece of equipment to this really high level, almost spiritual sound. It has to be experienced. And when you go to regular stores, you almost can't really get into the state of mind where you've broken through all the normal hi-fi walls that exists. What I'm talking about is the most extremely good sound that exists. And there are probably only like 10 people in the entire world that have access to the sound that I'm describing. And I've heard it, I think at least 3 times at one guy's place. And I was really blown away. And yeah, I'm a bit off track, but it's just to give you guys some help in order to spot what's really good. So where is your equipment on the scale? Can it do all of these things, and can it vary it at different levels of intensity? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, the better the equipment, the more it's able to vary between the emotional states and the intensity. And I really feel that normal gear can only give us so much. Um, if we rely on chips, digital equipment, and the usual ways of solving problems in the hi-fi industry, we're only going to get so far. There is a whole new level of sound that almost does not exist, and I wish that most people could hear that, because it would yeah, it's just indescribable. So I hope this video helps you guys with identifying the equipment that you guys like, and yeah, I'll be posting some videos out very soon.